Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to YSN for this special edition of Prime Time Live. I'm Mike Ackelson, and boy, we are looking forward to it. Two big games this weekend covered by YSN. The first one tonight, Warren JFK taking on Newark Catholic in the Division 7 state semifinals. I got a whole cast of characters with me. Of course, I got my man, DJ Yoakley. He'll be on the call of the game. And the coach, Steve Leslie, is with him, and my man, Nick Zeronis, sitting in Weathersfield, Ohio. So we are ready to go.
What's up, man?
Hard to believe. Here we are, state semifinals. If you had told me back in August we'd be at this point, I'm not sure we would have got here, but I'm happy we got here. And just excited for this to listen to you guys on this call tonight for Warren JFK. And let's head out to Massillon, Washington High School. You guys are probably in the best high school stadium in the United States of America. That place is absolutely beautiful. DJ, set the scene for us there.
Yeah, take the picture, man.
Kid in a candy store. I mean, Stevie told me all week long that, hey, have you ever been inside? No, I've never been in the cathedral that is Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. I'm overwhelmed. I got to be honest with you, but you know, I watched South Range on their way to a state championship from a baseball side just down the road. And then just to walk into this place, I put out probably 30 text messages to our group chat, to you guys. And, you know, I started out at Ohio Northern, and then I went to Westminster. And I got to be honest with you, they've got better facilities here than I did in college, and I paid for them. So it's unbelievable.
There's no doubt about that.
We're sitting right on the 50-yard line. Dom O'Brien and myself will be on the call. Steve's going to be with us, making sure that we don't get too rowdy here in this press box that holds about 5 zillion people. You could put the entire village of East Palestine in this press box. I'm not joking.
Wait, did you say Steve's babysitting?
Steve's babysitting, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take care of the babysitting. But Mike,
that's rough.
Mike, you've done this a long time. There isn't a better place than Paul Brown Stadium for this state semifinal game. It's a shame, and you know, I'm not trying to bash the OHSA, but it's a shame that the state finals are not here in between this facility and Akron. The way the people, they know what they're doing. Number one, they handle things very well. The press boxes were all set up for on both sides. It's a first class facility, and I was excited to just kind of watch DJ's facial expressions being in here. And nothing has changed. I mean, yeah, there's a pandemic. There's some different restrictions, but we got a great seat. He's got a great seat for a great call tonight. There's no doubt about that.
I remember the first time I walked in there, and that was in the mid-1990s, and a couple of people were like, "You're going to Massillon? You're going to cover a game at Massillon?" And I was like, okay, what's the big deal? And then I walked in, and my eyes lit up like, whoa, this is a high school facility. It's first class from everything they do there. Even, you know, when you walk through the gates, everything is just done to perfection at Paul Brown Massillon Tiger Stadium. I've absolutely loved every trip there. My big thing is I want to see a victory out of there tonight, guys, and this is going to be one heck of a game. I want to break down some numbers for you, and this is a little mind-blowing for you. For Warren JFK, this is their 25th playoff appearance in school history. For Newark Catholic, for Newark Catholic, it is their 37th. JFK has won 3 state championships. They have won 8. Do you know how many times each school's been to the state semifinals? JFK, this is their 8th. For Newark Catholic, this is their 26th.
Wow.
I was going to say they were in the 20s. Yep.
Yeah.
Nick, are you watching Stanford and Sons, or what are you doing over there?
What? What do you mean?
A little freeze frame.
I can hear it.
Oh, well, you know. Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Mike's microphone. Don't know what happened. Well, I mean, while Mike figures that out, that's probably what I deserve for making fun of Nick, quite honestly.
That's how it started. You should know better than that's how it goes. But how about those numbers?
Let me tell you, As I said, we're internet challenged in my place, so we do the best we can. But those
Yeah,
numbers, like
I
Mike
mean, when
was
it
saying,
comes
they're
down to those
mind-blowing.
numbers, it's unbelievable. 20 sometimes.
But the shocker is that this is the first time they'll face one another. When Mike puts out all those numbers and it's going to be the first meeting between the two schools, that's incredible for as many parents as both schools have made.
Yeah, Mike, you back with us?
I hope. Can you
There
guys
he
hear me
is.
now? Okay.
Here's Mikey.
Yeah.
All right.
You look at things and you're just like, that was the last thing I was going to say, Steve, and we were thinking right on the same path there. This is the first meeting between these two programs, and it's amazing. And they just, I'm looking forward to everything that they do, and I'm like, this is going to be one whale of a ball game, and we know what we're going to see from JFK. There's going to be a heavy dose of holla ball. I mean, that's coming, but it's going to take every other JFK player's got to step their game up tonight.
Yeah, and we talk about the three-headed monster. We talk about Cam Hollabaugh. We talk about Jesse Likens, and the third one we added this week was Gabe Green. If they try to make this and shut down the run game in Newark, you've got to handle the outside. And Gabe Green, we saw that he's got the ability, he's got the concentration, and he's got the speed to get down the sidelines quick, fast, and in a hurry. So it's going to be interesting to see how Newark comes in with a game plan and how it adjusts. 24 minutes, halfway through the game, because I got to believe that Coach Prologo and the entire staff are going to empty the playbook here tonight in this beautiful, beautiful facility. I mean, the sky's beautiful, Mike. You want to talk about painting a picture? I mean, you couldn't paint a better picture than the sunset right now. It's just blue to red, and if there's any irony to that, that's the same color as the JFK Eagles.
Well, and I think also you guys are on the side. You're facing over to the big covered grandstands. That is one of the most unique stands you'll ever see at any high school venue. I mean, to me, it looks like it should be built at a fairgrounds or something.
I was just going to say that. It reminds me of the Canfield Fairgrounds.
What concert's going to come out for the Labor Day concert is that's a great way of describing it. And Mike, you've been here a lot. I was fortunate enough to be in some of these with PJ on the sidelines. Tell everybody how exciting this place is when it's a full house for a state semi-championship game.
When you walk into Massillon and you see that place is packed and both sides were packed, it can be deafening at times down on the field, especially on the covered grandstand side. Yeah, and just fans can swing momentum here. I remember we covered Fitch down there. This was early 90s. They went down there and they played. The band took up the entire one end zone, and their student section was there with them, and it was crazy. Just remember that game. It's always stood out to me. It was one of my favorite games to cover down there. And
Mike, you're telling me that end zone is where the band goes?
Yeah.
The band's the size of some high school football teams.
Yeah.
The band is two something.
I can hear the tears from East Palestine. Coach Foster is just wishing he had the band members at that point. Those numbers.
Mike, Mike, I know you remember the games, Cardinal Mooney and Coldwater, the game here when Danny McCarthy was injured and Timmy Marlowe was the quarterback and Mooney loses on an extra point. There's been a lot of success from Youngstown, Warren area teams on this field. And honestly, I do. I think that continues tonight with a good JFK football team.
I think it does too. I mean, I look at JFK, and I've done a little bit of homework on Newark Catholic. I mean, both teams can score. We know that. But I think it comes down to the defensive end of this game tonight for these two schools. And when I look at things and I think to myself, it's a great setting. I mean, for a state, this is like a state championship game when you look at these two teams. And the other thing is, this is just to get to the right for the state championship.
And Mike, you're mentioning some numbers earlier, and you're mentioning defense. Let's not lose track to the Newark Catholic was a 10-7 winner last week over Shadyside to get to this point. How many games in 2020 or in this century are 10-7 playoff games? So they'll play a little defense. They've only given up 120 points the entire season.
Yeah, they'll play defense. They always have. And the funny thing is, I remember at times Newark Catholic, back when I first started, they would play Cardinal Mooney in the playoffs. I remember Don
That's
Butchie
right.
and company
Early 90s,
would
absolutely.
see them, in the postseason late every year. And
Mike, those games were over in like 35 minutes with Coach Butchie running the ball in Newark.
yeah.
The way they played defense, you blinked and the game was
Halftime
over.
was longer than the game, But that's how I remember this team. I mean, I know that they're going to come out, they stack it. They're going to play power football. They're going to try and manhandle you in the trenches unless they've changed drastically down there. But I don't see that. It's just the way that program plays. Yeah, defensively they're awesome, but offensively, if you look, last week Shadyside gave them a game, 10-7. But you go back to the games prior to that, 35, 42, 42, 48.
Right.
They had a loss where it was 23-14 to Licking Heights. But every game that they've won this year, minus last week, has been over 30 points. So they have the potential to light up the scoreboard. But then when I flip it, and I look at JFK coming into that, guys, you want to talk offense. JFK can light it up on you too. They have a game where they put 65 points on the board this year. I look at their playoff game against Lucas last week. What I think was fantastic about that was, they got 21 points, but that game was over when they decided it was over. And that defense said, nothing here tonight. And that's what they're going to have to do tonight.
Well, real quick while we have a chance, Nicole Curtis chiming in saying, will there be an option to buy a ticket to view this game? Probably like there has been all season. The answer to that is no. Spectrum's here tonight. They have an opportunity to stream it through Boxcast and the OHSAA, of course. So if you're looking to view the game, make sure that you're heading over to the OHSAA website, following their links to get this game to view it. We're sitting literally right next to Spectrum. Excited for their call as well. But, we're telling the people in Youngstown, as much as we love Spectrum, turn it down just a little bit. Turn it down. Turn us up. Crank it up. Especially
DJ, you're much better to listen to anyhow.
So Nicole Curtis, appreciate you bringing that up, because that's one thing we wanted to talk about. It will be an audio-only broadcast tonight. So Dom O'Brien, who's standing to my left, and I will have the call. Stevie's going to be babysitting. There he is.
There he is.
The legend. Stevie's going to be babysitting us to make sure that we don't get in any fights or anything out here. But I think we'll be okay.
Mike, I wanted to ask you this, Mike, and you've done this a long time. And I told DJ when we sat down, Newark Catholic will be a physical football team. They're tough, hard-nosed kids. That I'm sure will never change the way they play football. But I think, again, I go back to a lot of the teams that we have that are still in, both of them. And you look at JFK, their schedules prepared them for this opportunity. And I go to that Holland game. That was a physical football game that was pretty many steps up for Warren JFK, but from a physical standpoint, JFK handled their own. I think we will see that tonight, that JFK will be the more physical football team in this game.
Oh, they absolutely have to be physical. And sometimes you learn more in a loss than you do in a victory. And that was the one thing they learned, that they can play physical brand of football. And that's what they're going to have to do tonight, because like you said, North Catholic, they haven't changed. They stack it. They're going to come right at you, and it's going to be, can you stop it? They were much like Don Butchie. They're going to run the same play 27 times tonight. They're just going to block it differently on occasion.
And we had talked about in the Power Hour, we had talked about how that can work against you, because if you're one dimensional, if they stop that and all your eggs are in that basket, guess what, cowboy? You're riding out of town on a horse with no name, because that's where JFK really is exciting for us at YSN, because they can beat you in so many different facets of the game.
Well, absolutely. And Nick, you were going to chime in here. I'm going to let you take this for a second.
No, I was just going to say, the games that JFK quote unquote struggled in were the games where the other team has kind of like held onto the ball, played that physical running style of offense too, more or less just to keep the three-headed monsters we spoke about off the field. So I'm sure that's going to be New Catholic's game plan tonight. But they're going to have to do it, because I don't see, even though they haven't given up a lot of points in this playoff, over the season, I still don't think they've seen the type of caliber of athlete that JFK can present to them.
Yeah, and looking at the records, I mean, they've both played fair amount of teams with winning records, but I still think bottom line, it's going to come down to that three-headed monster. If you stop one, you're not stopping two or three, and if the third guy happens to get loose, then you key on him. All of a sudden, one gets to roar its big head. So I look at it and I'm thinking, I don't know that North Catholic can run sideline to sideline with the speed that Warren JFK is going to present to them tonight.
Yeah, I think it comes down to this too, Mike, and I think it really comes down to, can the trend keep continuing for teams that are playing JFK? So it's always the week before, I guess the week after, they try to key on whoever made the headlines the week before.
That's a good
so
point.
2 weeks ago, it was Jesse Likens. Last week, it was Jesse Likens. And this week, it should be Cam Hollabaugh if the trend is true. But, trying to stop Hollabaugh is a task in itself. So if you try to shut down 9, 2 is going to get you. And like I said, if you shut down 9 and 2 on the run game, look out for 30 on the edge, because he's going to get you. He's going to sneak. He's wearing bright pink. Don't know how he can sneak up on you, but he's gonna do it.
So. Yeah. So here's my question for you off of that, since you've called them, and Dom too. Mike, I'm kind of expecting, I'm like you, I'm expecting an 8-man box. They're going to be loaded up in there trying to stop their run. I don't know if they've seen skilled guys be able to do what they do on the edge, like you're talking about, where he's going to be in one-on-one situations a lot of the night. Cam does a good job of making his reads and going through things. That has to be a key for this football team.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to come down to, as it always does, the RPO, the decisions that Cam Hollabaugh makes. But the one thing, I mean, if I'm playing Madden right now, I got the sticks, and I'm thinking they're going to bring 8 guys every single time. I'm going, play action to Likens, and then dip him out in the flats and dump over a draw, with a draw, and you're gone. Or I'm sorry, a screen, and he's gone. I mean, Likens can get 50 yards faster than most of us can blink our eyes. So if you get this team out in space, Jesse Likens, Gabe Green, Kudo, we saw a 51-yard touchdown last week by Cam Hollabaugh because he saw there was no safety over top. It is a dangerous team, and I think if there's anything that Coach Perlogo, and I don't know this for a fact, but if I'm Coach Perlogo, if there's anything I was preaching all week, it's, listen, let them be aggressive. Yeah. We'll feel them out the first 24 minutes.
Find
and
open
then,
space.
Exactly, and we'll roll the dice the next 24. If they're playing our game, then we're going to win this game.
Yeah,
so,
and I love Kiernan at center. You've talked about him a lot. He's the leader on the line of scrimmage. We'll make all the calls to get their offense to those situations. I think Coach Perlogo, Mike, does a good job. He's been on so many good football staffs that he was ready to take over this football team, and he's incorporated a lot of things from different people and brought in his own styles. And Kiernan, what he does with a broken hand and snapping it left-handed, that is absolutely incredible. And I speak that because I had a son who played center. It's hard enough to snap a ball out of shotgun all the time without a broken hand, but to do that with your opposite hand shows you the type of football players we're dealing with at JFK.
One of the things I wanted to highlight was if you're looking at Eddie Kiernan, we call him Trip. If you're looking at Trip Kiernan, yes, he's fantastic offensively. He's the leader of that line, but watch him on defense. If you're ordering the Spectrum game tonight, you need to watch number 58 off the edge, because he's got so many similarities to TJ Watt that it's uncanny. The way that he gets off the ball, teams have to run away from him because he covers that edge before the ball is oftentimes even snapped. So whatever side that 58's on, watch for them to run the other way. So I'm really interested to see that. So when you guys are watching it, make sure you're kind of ISO'd in on 58 on defense, because you're going to see them either they haven't watched a lot of film on him, they're going to run at Kiernan, he's going to shut it down, or maybe try to get him to creep too far into the backfield and kick him out. So 2 different ways to do it. I'm excited to see that matchup all night. Nope, I got Nick's muted. Hang on, Nick. Hang on. Go ahead.
Don't. You got me?
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, no, I was going to say, you nailed it too. I loved what you said earlier about the RPOs and the decisions. Hollabaugh has made almost perfect decisions all season long, and that's what's made him and Likens so unstoppable. And I think you hit it on the head. That's going to be a really good key for him if he continues to make those great decisions against a very good defense, maybe one of the better defenses they've seen all season. I think JFK is going to be in really good shape tonight.
Well, and I think back to your Kiernan thing, if you're one of his teammates, do you not want to go out and fight for that kid? I mean, he's got a cast on him. And I mean, you look at that, and it looks like a club. He doesn't use it like a club, but if I'm one of his teammates, I want to make sure I give 110% because this kid is laying it on the line, with an injured hand. Snaps now with the opposite hand. I mean, everything this kid has done, he's got to be a leader in the locker room. And I got to think that this team rallies around that. And it's about the big three on offense, but it's those little unsung heroes that go along there. I mean,
great point, Mike.
On defense makes a ton of plays too. So you look at that. I mean, if you're calling 16 a lot tonight, DJ, he is having a massive game, which means he could affect how Newark's doing offensively.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Morrow doesn't get a lot of press. He doesn't get a lot of the headlines, but we call him the Iceman because that dude does not change no matter the situation. And the Iceman has cometh. He has been there all season. Like the staple that never gets. I mean, we always compare it to offensive linemen, right? They never get any of the love, any of the attention, unless you're talking to the quarterback. And then they better get a lot of the love and the attention. But Mike Morrow is a kid that goes very unnoticed on the media broadcast, but doesn't go unnoticed on the film. I mean, and I'll just speak up and say that he has been a player since day one. I mean, a conscious decision to attend JFK because of the tradition, the heritage, the history, and the future. And Mike Morrow and his whole family, just great character people, looking to just continue to do what they do best. But before we go anywhere, we do have a JFK highlight from last week that I want to run for you guys. Okay. So you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Left side, Sauter looking for some space. He's not going to get it. The Blue Storm prevails. First down, JFK, and a big stop to start on defense. For the middle, finds his man. Oh, this ball's up in the air. Oh, the catch! Green down the right sideline. Oh, baby, takes it out of bounds. Cam waits for the snap. He takes it. Left side, he's going to try to scramble. He is met. He's stiff arms a man to the 20-yard line. Hollabaugh bumps his way down to the 15. Handoff up the middle. Cam Hollabaugh. Touchdown, Eagles.
Jumping right over the line from the handoff by Bruce, going up the middle, taking 6.
Hollabaugh takes a snap, 5-step drop, steps up, fires over the middle. He's got a man. Kudo wide open. Touchdown. Big time touchdown, a 33-yard strike from Cam Hollabaugh to Kudo. Right, Likens to the left of Cam. Calls for the snap. He's going to go right up the middle. Quarterback draw. There goes Hollabaugh. See you later, buddy. 51 yards. Cam Hollabaugh to the house. House call. Reservation for 6 under the name Hollabaugh.
He's been waiting for that all game.
Eagles advance to the state semis. It's the team of destiny, and you can see them right here on YSN next week.
And that's one of the things, Mike. Not many people know this, but you have been a role model of mine for a long time, and anytime I can tip my cap to you in a broadcast, I do. And I heard the reservations for 6 earlier. That is a Mike Ackelson-ism. And I took it because I thought it was perfect timing for it. So kudos to you on that. You could say I got a little excited. Dom and I got a little excited on that. So yeah, we're excited for this one tonight. I think we're going to see a lot of the same. Thanks to WFMJ for the highlights on that. I think it's really cool when we can kind of cross produce stuff because of our partnership. So I know they're going to be here tonight, and hopefully we're able to do that tonight into tomorrow, and then head our tails to Zanesville tomorrow for a little bit of Springfield action.
Absolutely. Steve, you've been there many a times with Cardinal Mooney and things. I've been there with Ursula and stuff. What does Coach Perlogo have to tell these kids? Because I don't care who you are. When you step out on that field tonight, there's an aura about the school, the field, where you're playing, how to keep your emotions into check, and just play the game.
Yeah, I think he will do a very good job of preparing the kids for that. We watched Newark when they came in off their buses. You would have thought, that the phones were out, the camcorders were going, and they were taking pictures. The JFK special teams have come on, and they're starting their warm-ups. They did not come out as a team. So that tells me that Coach Perlogo has them prepared. They're coming into a situation, Mike, where I don't think they're going to be in awe because a lot of these kids have been around this environment. Mollenkopf Stadium that you play at home at is a great venue for high school football. So I personally really do think this is such a great place. That's another thing that favors this JFK team tonight compared to Newark Catholic, who this is a lot newer for them to come over in a semifinal game for this kids. But the JFK kids, the blue jerseys are out. I love the look, the blue and the white pants. I think Coach Perlogo is going to have this football team ready to go. And I'm with DJ. These kids, they have earned every ounce of opportunity that they've gotten. And I think that continues. But from here, as we watch, they did not come out when they got off the buses as a group. That tells me that Coach Perlogo and the staff will not have them in awe when they come out here as a group for their team warm-up.
And I think that's the big thing. If he's got them mentally prepared, that could be an advantage, because I've seen teams come out there.
No doubt.
McDonald, they played there in the 90s, and no offense to Brian Fedeschi and his crew, but he even said the first few minutes of the game, they literally were, just in awe of where they were. And he said that was hard to get over. He says it was just that initial 3 minutes, but that initial 3 minutes, man, they took one in the mouth, and they, just the hole was dug. So you got to be ready when you walk out on that field tonight.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'm with you. I don't, not trying to put it, but the newer kids looked a little in awe. As I took it from up here, they were a little awestruck by it. And I think Coach Perlogo did the right thing. And Mike, you've been around a long time. PJ and Cardinal Mooney's and the Ursulines, they never came out and walked around the fields in pregame. They got off the bus and got into the locker room because it's a business trip. And I know Coach Perlogo pretty well. DJ does a great job of communicating with him. This is a business trip for JFK. This isn't a come, let's go check out Massillon Paul Brown Stadium. This is a come, let's kick somebody's rear end and get to the state championship.
Yeah, this isn't a stadium tour. You know what I mean? I felt like, I don't want to say last year was, it just felt like JFK ran out of gas a little bit. You know what I mean? Like they ran out of, I don't want to say bullets in the gun, because that's what I just did. So let's just use that.
It's your company. You can say whatever you want.
But I mean,
that's a good answer.
I think last year it was, okay, we're here. Let's see what we can do. And to your point, Steve, I think this year we're here. We know what we're capable of. Let's just go, on that field and execute. And I'll be honest, like Ravenna last year, blue turf, I think it threw them off. I think it had something to do with it a little bit. When you're at that stage, and obviously, it's an adjustment. It was an adjustment for the announcers, because the blue turf, for us, imagine playing on it. So tonight, it's a big stadium. It's a big stage. All the media outlets are here. And there's an expectation for JFK to win. And we talked about doing it for the K in the Cam Hollabaugh interview. We talked about burning the boats. This is a one-way trip for JFK this year, and they're not going home without taking the gold. So I think that it's a different expectation. It's a different team, and it's a different feel. I mean, look, you talk about this team that just comes out on the field. Like, there's a quiet confidence to JFK this year.
Mike, I have one, Mike, for you and Nick. Obviously, my thoughts are, and DJ just hit on that. Both these football teams we have playing are both coming off the same situations. And I just always go back to that guy pulling the trigger at quarterback. Hollabaugh tonight, Bo Brungard tomorrow. Those kids make great decisions because they're taught very well every day in practice. What are your thoughts on that? These are two teams that last year has prepared them. That's why I think they're the big dog on the block in both of these games.
Go ahead, Nick.
Hang on, Nick.
You're muted again. Why do you keep muting me?
Because there's like
you got it?
I got you doing like laundry in the background. I got like static.
Now I got my ears falling apart now and everything. All right, here we go. All right. So no, I agree totally with what Steve's saying. I don't think as I picked up on earlier, I think Newark Catholic's got good defense, great defense, but I don't think they've seen a player at quarterback that can do so many multidimensional things, and on top of it all, be so smart and make the right decisions. And then, bam, if he does the flip out to Likens, then they're going to converge on him, and then he flips it out to Likens on the run. I don't think that they have the arsenal that can stop a type of offense that JFK can run at you.
Well, I think the big thing too, when you look at it, JFK, as much as we've said all year that Springfield had unfinished business, I think for JFK there was unfinished business. They ran out of gas, but boy, they want to prove that they're ready to go this time. As far as Hollabaugh goes, I mean, he's the trigger man. He's absolutely going to be the trigger man. He's going to dictate what that offense does, when it does. And I think the neat thing when you were showing the highlights, we talked about the running, all that. But he can throw the ball too. And I think that's the one dimension. You want to pack 8 in the box? All right, have at it. Pick your poison, because I don't have to beat you with my legs. I can beat you with my arm. And that's exactly what he's going to do tonight. If they go 8 or 9 in the box, say la vie, Newark, because it's going to be a long night.
This is interesting, Mike. Third or fourth team in a row that JFK has played that, I mean, the roster is jam-packed, 1-99 in Division 7, and JFK comes out with, not 99. Yeah, it's not that many. But listen, I think being prepared for that in weeks prior says a lot. They're not. I mean, they look to that one side with Newark, and you have all white jerseys, the green helmets on top with the yellow piping on top of their helmet. I don't think there's any fear, because they dealt with it with Dalton. They dealt with it with Lucas. I mean, those are big programs, and I think at the end of the day, like, again, I think that the Gator bit them earlier on in the year. So, okay, let's go. You got 75 people. That's just a few more we have to beat.
Yeah, I think they respect the okay, Newark, you passed the eye test, but we're coming here to win a football game. That's the way they handle their bit.
Let's not lose sight of the fact who the number 1 seed is. There's only 2 number 1 seeds in this Final Four, Division 7. So they are the big dog in the block, JFK is.
Which is crazy because are they the home team?
No, JFK is the home team.
JFK is, yeah.
Oh, yep. So JFK is the one, and obviously Lima was the other number 1 seed.
Lima Central Catholic, correct.
Yeah, it could be a head-on collision there. So,
choo-choo, baby. Trains are coming.
But, Mike, what I'm excited about is an opportunity to watch Cam Hollabaugh play. I always get a chance to watch him at the park and in high school baseball and summer baseball. There isn't a tougher kid than Cam Hollabaugh. I'll say that right now. He plays baseball that way. I can't wait to watch him play and lead a team with a chip on his shoulder to the state championship.
You ever see the size of Hollabaugh's arms? No, not to he's like Schwarzenegger with a cannon like Tom Brady. I mean, it's unbelievable that he can get that ball out so quick. I mean, everybody knows he's a 3-sport athlete. Yeah. He's a football player. He's a basketball player, and he's a great baseball player. I mean, he's drawing some comparisons to getting drafted. I mean, that's how good of a baseball player he is. And yet here we are talking about him as an elite quarterback, an elite football player here in the Mahoning Valley. So that's just that. I mean, Mike, you talked about the athleticism. That is the athleticism that JFK possesses.
Oh, absolutely. And I just look at it, and when you break it down, he's number 1. Likens is 2. The rest of the team follows right in line with him. And if one isn't getting it done, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to pick it up for him. I mean, it's just the way. And you got to give credit to Coach Perlogo. You got to give credit to Coach Back, who left the cupboard full for him to step into this process. I mean, this is an awesome opportunity for Warren JFK. And when you guys look at it, you're at the field, you can see them getting warming up and everything. And, you're sitting in a nice, warm, cozy press box. It's, warmer than some houses tonight, probably. My wife's mad. I haven't turned the heat on yet, but I pay the gas bill. No.
Well, we have plenty of clean blankets, as you can see, DJ.
But we've talked about all that. What does JFK have to do defensively now? to advance.
They got to be stout. They just got to keep doing what they do. They're called the Blue Storm for a reason. We talked about Kieran on the one edge. I mean, you got Cameron Hollabaugh that is kind of floating around in the backfield. Came up with a pick last week to seal the deal for the Eagles. I think they just got to force the hand of Newark. We talked about on the Power Hour today. If you're Coach Prologo, do you want to get the football first and try, and go score? Because you always want to be the one that's leading. You know what I mean? To have them throw that extra punch. I'm a firm believer in that. I say you score first and let them try to catch up to you, and let your defense, give them a little bit of a break. So if you give up a touchdown early, it's tied. It's no big deal, and you can make your adjustments at halftime. But there's a lot of people, Mike and Nick, that they think the other way. They want the football at halftime because they can make their adjustments, come out and get the football, and go down and score. I think this is going to be. It's interesting because I haven't really picked yet. I haven't really picked if this is going to be a track meet or if this is going to be a low-scoring game. I know everybody says that it's going to be a low-scoring game given last week, but we saw earlier this season JFK can get a track meet done with Louisville. I mean, they scored like 60 points, right? So if it turns into that, I like JFK's odds. But, honestly, if it's a low-scoring affair, I think let's put it this way. If JFK scores 20 points, their defense gets the job done, it's over. I think they're going to the state championship.
DJ, I think you made a tremendous point about getting the ball first. I think that's got to be in JFK's mindset to do that because they're going to want to set the tempo in this game. They don't, as I said before, teams that they've struggled against, the teams that kind of set the tempo on offense. I think the key is for JFK to get that ball, opening drive, get down there and score, and say, hey, look, now you got to play catch up to us. You can't play a four corners type offense against us.
Well, I'm really interested in this because you look over to Newark and they could easily go two platoon, right? They could easily go 11 on offense, 11 on defense. JFK does not and cannot do that with their numbers. Yeah. And I think it's going to be interesting to see, are the same guys on offense, the same guys on defense? If that's the case, and on the offense for Newark, I think you keep that defense on the field as long as you can. You grind it out, you wear these kids down, and then see what they can do on offense against you. But on the other side, if I'm Coach Prologo, I'm doing the same thing. I'm grinding down this defense to a stump and then kicking it. You know what I mean? One of those scenarios where you've got to establish your dominance, establish the tone, and give your team some confidence. Not that they don't already have it, but confidence against this team. Because you put your best 11 against our best 11, we're going to play all game. No matter who you put in there, JFK is going to beat you down.
Yeah. And I think the key is who gets the momentum early. Who gets the momentum, who builds on something real fast in this one. I'm a big defer guy. I really am. I like to come out because if I can get the score at the end of the first half and I get a 7-point cushion and I know you're kicking it to me to start the second half, now I can make it a 2-score game real quick. As long, I like the adjustment. But in this type of situation, I'm almost apt to say take the ball and put one right down their throats. Deliver the first punch because that can really set the tone for the whole game.
Yeah, I think, Mike, that if you can score early on offense in the first half and rely on your defense in the second half to win you to get you to the championship, I mean, the old adage is defense wins championships. Defense will also get you to the championship, and I think that's what JFK is known for. I think that's what they're going to have to do and execute tonight. Score early, score often, let your defense get you the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think
this might be a race to 20 points. First team to get to 20 is going to be in favor.
I think if JFK scores 4 touchdowns tonight, they're in good, just prime position. I think 28's the key for them. If they get 4 touchdowns, I don't see Newark being it because they're going to chew up clock. They're going to put them in situations now that they got to press when they're on offense. So if you put them in bad situations, everything could favor JFK.
Yeah, I think if this game comes out,
I don't think Newark has a shot.
I would say that. I think both teams are here for a reason.
No, I'm saying. I would say they have a shot if they get to 28. If JFK.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think that it all comes down to discipline too, and I think if that's what it does come down to, I think JFK has the advantage because I mean they're in this together, and not that Newark's not, but JFK they know that this is a very special senior class, a very close senior class, and you lose and you go home at this point. There's no makeup games. There's no trying to play another week for the seniors to get them out with a win. It is lose and go home, win and move on. And there's only one game after this, and only one of those teams gets to stay happy at the end of the game. So I think there's a lot on the line for both teams, but for JFK, they know exactly what this is. The stage is not too big for them. You could play this game on the moon, and they'd be ready to go.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me, Mike, as you talk, because I'm going to sit up here and watch. I'm going to go. It's going to be an 8-man box, probably with someone spying Cam. But when you do that, you leave a lot of open space, open territory for guys on the perimeter. I really think the big advantage is going to be to get Cam to the perimeter and go to work with some of those guys he has on the edge. And I'm with you guys. I think if the game gets in the 20s, I don't think Newark can keep up at the pace.
I'm looking at the roster right now, guys. There's a couple 6'4" guys on the roster. You got Cole Canner, who's a junior. He's a quarterback. And you look down at Brandon Buchanan.
Yeah.
6'4". That's some size.
It's a good-looking football team. There's no question about that. They will be, in my opinion, the most physical football team JFK will play this year, other than maybe Holland.
Yeah, without a doubt, this is the best opponent they faced up to this point. They're both in the state semifinals for a reason. Why? Two good programs, as we stated right out of the get-go here on prime time. And I just think as this game goes, whichever team, there's that handful of plays that Coach Tressel always told us about, Steve. 5 games are going to dictate the outcome of this game. I'll know by DJ's voice which of those 5 plays are.
Yeah, listen, I went home. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I went home on Friday night with a sore throat from all the yelling we did and the excitement that we had. I'm hoping to stop somewhere on the way home to get a couple of waters as well for my sore throat, because I just want to scream and yell for this team. This is a great not only a great team, but a great school with great people involved, a lot of character, a lot of friends that we've made in the last 2 years at JFK, including the guy that's calling the game with me, Dom O'Brien, who's a graduate of JFK. It's no secret that we love our teams, and there's no secret that we're going to root for it. So if they're looking for an even broadcast tonight, you're in the wrong spot. Turn on the dial, because if you're looking for a Warren JFK broadcast, well, welcome home, baby.
I love it, man. I just think, all of Trumbull County's tuning in tonight. There's no doubt in my mind. This is big, and it's funny. Like early in the year, it used to be Howland didn't want to play JFK because their kids went from Howland to JFK. The Howland kids are rooting for them tonight. The Niles community is. They're all rooting, because this is their one shot to have something good happen out of this football season.
Yeah, this is the funny thing about all this, Mike, is we've been the home for JFK football all year, from week 1 all the way till whatever week this is. And then if they move on, we'll be home for JFK football again, and then we'll move into basketball. That's the nice thing, is that the support that the community and the Blue Pride have shown us, individually, whether it's Dom, myself, or whoever's been calling the games all season. Everybody knows that the home for Warren JFK, whatever, is ysnlive.com. I'm excited we're going to have, in the history of YSN, what a lot of people do, especially with the free broadcast in the past, or old school YSN, as we like to call it this week on Running Point, is people put the earbuds in while they're at the game. So I'm excited to see the earbuds out, and and we used to call them the lightning bugs, in the stands, because you'll see all the white screens. They're watching us or listening to us, and obviously with just an audio call tonight, it's going to be an exciting experience once again. And as always here, and for the first time ever, from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, baby.
Did you say audible call? You audible called this? No.
One more time. Let's get it. Hey, let people know, Mike, too.
More references this fall than anything.
People have been asking about you two in basketball season, so we can make it official. We will have the open look. Now, there's no audible calls in basketball, so it's we had to rebrand it a little bit for hoops, but it's going to be the open look We're going to do it on Fridays, just as we did for football. And maybe if we can swing a couple Thursdays for girls basketball too, if we can get either you guys down on a Thursday or get another host like Anthony Hartwig, who's a great representation for YSN and for girls sports. I'm so proud of the work that we've done this year. Had a chance on Sunday to finally just kind of take a step back and think about what we did and how far we've come. And my goodness, I've probably gotten 37, 38 messages just this week about what are you going to do for basketball? Are you going to do it for basketball? Yeah, we're going to do it for basketball. It's going to be $9.90 on you get all the games, and on Fridays you can tune in for the I almost call it the audible call myself, the open look with you two guys. A little different feel to it. A little different feel. I mean, football is all about the touchdowns. Basketball is going to be like scheduled and scheduled look-ins, and then the second half we're just going to let Q do his thing, and we'll have some great coaches to be a part of it and keep the conversation going. I'm excited for it, guys. You've really set the groundwork for something fantastic, and as always, we look forward to making it bigger and better.
Mike, you playing center or are you playing power forward?
He's a shooting guard.
There you go. And you're always open.
Kobe! Well, always I can do rebounds, so that's
Steve's
all I can do. I can't shoot, so that's all I can do.
Beto's
Steve's are 3, 4, and 5. Let's do it. I'm so psyched to hear that.
Yeah, I'm excited for basketball. I think it's new. Again, groundbreaking. We're going to do something that hasn't been done before. And
right.
We're riding this football thing. I want to ride one more week. So you tell Coach Perlogo and that blue wave, I need one more wave to get us to Columbus.
Blue pride. We don't want to talk about the blue wave.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, real quick. Sorry. Real quick. You say you're saying doing things that nobody's done before. That's kind of what YSN is in a nutshell, man. DJ, again, every week, tip of the cap to you, man, for the vision. You and Steve doing all this stuff. And we're ready for basketball. Oh, my gosh. So before we get to basketball, we got to get a couple of state champions this weekend and next weekend.
I can only hear like every other word because it's loud in his press box.
Live here, the music's jumping on the field. It's getting we're getting close to that time here.
What do they call it? The witching hour?
The witching hour is happening.
Let's go.
Quarter.
Friday the 13th.
Why don't we give a quick shout out? What do we think? What's gonna happen, Mike?
Like I said, I think JFK's got to score 4 touchdowns. I think Newark's capable with their offense to score at least 3. But I think if JFK gets 28 points, they're going to be in good shape. I think they're a team that's been on a mission all season, and I think they've flown under the radar a little bit. But I like the schedule. I like what they've played. I like JFK to win this game. I'm actually going to have them 34-21.
Wow. I'm thinking. I think JFK's got too much. As much as I think Newark Catholic has a great defense, I think JFK has a little bit too much for him. And I'll tell you what, we all say Harbaugh, but I'm thinking tonight it's Likens. I think they're gonna converge on Harbaugh, and Cam's gonna get the pitches out to Likens, make the good decisions. I think he's gonna have a big game. He might score 3 touchdowns tonight. I'm going JFK gets to 28, like we we're talking about. I think it's about a 28-14 game.
Go ahead, boss.
I'm gonna go a little defense for JFK tonight. I'm gonna go my guy tonight, Gabe Green, is going to be the guy tonight.
The Space
Just
Cadet.
have a hunch. You got me with the Space Cadet. You got me there. I'm going to go 24-7 JFK.
Wow.
There you go.
I think their defense is that good. I really do. And you've talked about this. If we can get them behind the sticks and make them do things that they don't like, I think this defense is really good. I'm going 24-7.
I am going to go the same kind of route. I think that it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game. JFK doesn't need numbers. We got talent. Let's go Eagles.
There's a math professor, Billy McCartney, throwing us a shot. What do you got there, Steve?
I'm going to go 27-17. I think that it comes down. I mean, I think 4 touchdowns is about on par with what I was thinking the entire way. I knew they had to get over 20, and I think that. I mean, I'm looking at their kicker for Newark, and he's 6'3". It isn't often you have a 6'3" kicker, even in the NFL. So He's probably got a little bit of a boot on him. So he also plays wide receiver and defensive back.
Skilled
So
guy.
it'll be interesting. So keep your eye on that. On special teams is going to be huge. Obviously, everybody knows that that JFK does a lot of squib kicks and things of that nature. So starting field position is going to be big. But I think the Blue Storm comes out big, comes out often, and I think that the offense carries that wave with them on offense, and it goes 27-17.
Yep.
Well,
There you go.
nutshell, there you got it. We all took JFK. Is Betos on the field? Does he got the Eagle helmet hat on? He's waving right now.
Is he doing the wave?
He's out there sacrificing a chicken because he doesn't understand the difference between a chicken and an eagle. No, I'm excited. And guys, tomorrow, don't forget, I know we'll talk about it at the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard Show after the game, that we will have the Tiger Stable represented tomorrow. Nick, you'll be out there. The three of us will be down.
I can't wait.
And we'll have Betos there. So come out and meet the living legend. We got some giveaways, some YSN T-shirts we'll be giving out at the Tiger Stable. So come out, get some great food. They're going to have the game. Spectrum will be carrying it. They'll be showing it at the Tiger Stable. And of course, if you can't do either, make sure you crank YSN. It's absolutely free, and you can listen to the best announcers we have, Jamie and Romo,
those
do their thing.
Have they gotten their voices back from last week?
Oh, yeah. Romo is still up on cloud 9 of where he was. He got his 10,500 views this week on that highlight. So he's above and beyond where, like I told him, I said, it's okay if you don't come down from that. Just carry that momentum into Saturday at Zanesville, and it'll be just fine. So I can't wait to talk about that game with you guys tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
A fantastic game. Real quick, just want to mention, the other side of the bracket tonight, Lima Central Catholic, New Brenneman. That's going to be a whale of a football game. I mean, I look at those two teams. Yeah, they're Lima Central Catholic. They've been around for a while. They know a little bit about football. But that's going to be a whale of a football game up there. And the winner gets, obviously the winner of this one. And I'm going to pencil JFK into the state championship game already. But I just think the Final Four here in Division 7 is dynamite.
It's going to be a big
game.
Totally
agree. Lima, and that Lima team they can score.
Anybody in the final is going to be awesome games, and I'm with you guys. I think we get 2 with both of them. I think both of these teams are both good enough not only to get to the state championship but to win them.
Friday at 2 is the D7, and so hopefully JFK's in that game. We'll follow them down, and it was a Sunday at 5.
Yeah, so
the YSN road trip, baby.
Columbus road trip.
There you go.
We'll have to keep Betos maybe somewhere in between the Mansfield and Columbus area for 2 days.
We'll tell him it's in Cincinnati.
There you go.
Yeah, he's barred. He's not allowed to be in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine that we'll get a letter from Governor DeWine saying that Betos he's not allowed to be in Columbus.
Not followed any COVID particulars, so he can go down on a trip next week.
They're going to quarantine.
He wears a mask on the crowd.
They're starting to settle in here. Again, small crowd, Mike, but it's going to be a great atmosphere no matter what here tonight.
It is, and that's the one thing I think when you look at it, I'm glad the kids are getting to play. But what they're robbed of, that place would be packed tonight. It would be absolutely packed, loud. That's the one thing that I look at it through, all the restrictions and everything. And I'm glad they're getting to play. But, man, I wish they could play in front of a packed house, especially at that venue. I mean, it's just it's so special to get to play there, And a lot of people don't know this. And my old friend Mark Coons,
but thank goodness we're
in Maz
at this point,
told me that when you're born there, you get a black towel and you get an orange football. You are expected to play for the Massillon Tigers.
Sure. I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Mike, and say that this
that football's put in your crib.
Yeah, right? I'm going to go out on a limb here, Mike, and say that this game, this facility, this atmosphere is going to be more special than whoever makes it to the game next week. Nothing against where the game's at, obviously in Columbus, but this is a football home. This is where football needs to be played. So So we're
there you go.
I don't like Columbus is great, but this is the home of football. This is I mean, why the hell wouldn't you want to play here and have your lasting memory of high school being lifting the golden trophy in the middle of the greatest football stadium that I've ever been a part of, and this is including pro stadiums.
What we say, 10 minutes between here and the Canton Hall of Fame Stadium. The two best environments, Mike, for state championship football are right where we're at.
Yeah. No better weekend, guys, than when they alternated the games between Massillon and Canton.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
I hear people that literally booked the whole weekend, and they went down and they watched every game.
People make pilgrimages down for that.
Year is highway robbery.
Yeah.
Well, we'll enjoy this one, and hopefully
let's face it, the guy who's
have a good call.
You guys have a great call. I know you're going to do the great, DJ, and Dom and Steve. Keep an eye on them, will you?
Yeah, I got my eyes covered here. I'm going to make sure that, like, when the pizza gets here at halftime, though, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get myself a slice of pizza. I'm gone. But, again, shout out to you guys for doing what you do for all of us at YSN. I know DJ feels that way. You guys have been exactly what we're looking for to continue that climb. We're not happy yet, but we're getting there pretty close.
We're getting there. We'll keep
Sounds good.
climbs every week. Pretty soon we'll be fast breaking, dunking, stealing, full court press, open looks.
Open looks. There you go.
There we go.
Let's go, boys. Thank you for having us, and we'll see you on the other side of this ball game, hopefully with a JFK win.
Absolutely.
We'll be back soon.
And just a reminder, fans, you can listen to it on YSN tonight, and right after the game, give us a few minutes, but we will set up. We'll have the Joe Dickey electric scoreboard for you here on YSN. Thank you for joining us for this playoff edition of Prime Time. And don't forget, folks, it's going to be a lot of holla tonight at Massillon Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. We will see you guys after the game.